I was warming up, doing some pull-ups today, and I noticed that my left shoulder, the back of my left shoulder, I wouldn't say there's a pain, but it's not a good feeling, I would say. And I think it's kind of led to possibly my front delt being a lot more developed than my rear delt. So I'm probably gonna have to go back and do some more just general like well-rounded work so my shoulders don't get like messed up or whatever. So because of that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do basically just cardio. So I did jump rope, like with 2 rounds of jump rope and then 2 rounds of punching the heavy bag. And yeah, that was about it for today's workout. But yeah, so going back to the shoulder thing, I haven't experienced this exact feeling. And I think it's because, like, I haven't been doing as many face pulls, like ring face pulls, or as many rows. And since I'm not doing rows, like, rows will target your rear delts a lot better and a lot more precise than, like, doing, let's say, like chest to bar pull ups or, of course, chin ups or whatever. And then if you're doing face pulls, you're getting a lot more precise. I'd say ring face pulls are just amazing in general for just building up like your shoulders and like just your rotator cuff health. So I'm probably gonna have to go back to doing a lot of these movements that I haven't really been doing. And the reason why I haven't really been doing a lot of these like more isolation movements is because I've been enjoying these compound movements, and they're just a lot more simpler and just easier to kind of fit into just the training schedule that goes like daily. But again, like maybe that's like the flaws of doing like trying to do like daily full body or whatever. I can't really you put every single exercise I know in there, so it's like I might have to just go and start splitting things up, even though that's not like my most preferred way of doing things. But in terms of just for health and longevity, I should probably possibly just go back to just doing splitting it up, whether it be push pull legs or upper lower. I'm thinking of maybe push pull. That way I can fit in stuff like rows and face pulls into those pulling sessions, without really having to worry about if I'm gonna have enough space for doing like push-ups or dips or pike push-ups, whatever the case may be. And then of course have a pushing session, and then I'm probably gonna have to write that down and everything. And then one thing I realized too is like the sessions where they're split up, it feels like as if they take longer than usual sessions. I don't know if that's just something that's in my head, but it's definitely something that I'm gonna have to just try and time it. I should probably put a timer on myself, just so I can know how much time I'm spending, because I'm usually trying not to take up so much time. I'm barely even trying to do like 30 minutes sometimes, just so I can just have time for like schoolwork, mainly schoolwork and just other responsibilities. And in regards to my actual training session here, this jump rope that we've had for a good minute, it actually snapped. It broke. So I'm assuming it broke because of concrete, maybe. It just it hitting repeatedly the ground just over and over. And it's not like it's the most expensive piece of equipment. And so I guess over time it just took enough stress and it just snapped, right? And it was so funny because I'm even jumping for a little bit, and then I don't even realize that it like snapped right, for a good second. And I still had around 2 minutes left on my timer. So with that time left, I kind of just paused the timer and then I just went to the heavy bag. So I kind of did like 2.5 rounds of just the heavy bag work. It's gonna snap like right about here, I think. And I don't know, it's just so funny. Like I've had this jump rope for a good minute. There it is. It's broken right there. And I got it from Walmart. It was like $6-7. So you get what you pay for. Probably next time I invest in a jump rope, I should probably get like a good one, off of Amazon or somewhere else. That way where it's not just gonna snap all of a sudden. But it served its purpose. It did what it was supposed to do. Very useful piece of equipment, the jump rope. If you want, to get a good way of doing cardio, without having to like go run or having to go really move anywhere too much, get you a jump rope. Get you a jump rope. It's very fun as well. And then once you get used to just jump roping, you feel very competent and you just start to have fun. Basically, that's like one of the great parts of just jump roping. Yeah. So back to kind of me exploring options when it comes to training. The one thing about me is that sometimes I get bored of following like a usual just training program. I don't know why. It just gets boring to me. I just don't like it for whatever reason. So I kind of just tend to follow and do kind of almost whatever I want. In general, I try and make sure I of course, consistent. It's not like I'm just gonna be like, I don't feel like doing push-ups, and then I don't do push-ups for 3 months or something like that. No, like, I take the movements that I like. I like doing push-ups. I like doing pull-ups, and I do them like, I try to do them every day. I haven't done them. I didn't do them yesterday or this day because, for one, today at least, my shoulder was kind of acting up, and the day before, I kind of wanted to give my body a rest. So, because of my shoulder acting up, I think it's going to be best for me to, of course, not really work it today. I mean, of course, I'm hitting the heavy bag, but yeah, to not really work it today and to, again, possibly just start up a different training schedule, a different training split. Probably just for the case of longevity. People will say like, wouldn't it be more consistent to try and do a training split or whatever where you do, X exercises or whatever the case may be. For me, whatever is fun for you, whatever is enjoyable for you, is how you stay consistent. If you just take some like random program off of like some bodybuilder's Instagram page or some fitness influencers Instagram page, it's like I'd say it's a good way to start out maybe, just to kind of get your foot in the door. But in general, like in terms of like longevity, right? You might not follow that program to a T for like years to come, or even like a month later. You're more likely to try new things, and when you get used to like your own body and just what you think of training, then of course you're gonna do things your own way, basically. And me kind of training daily, kind of do almost trying to do like full body daily, is my way of inserting how I like to train. Like in general, I like to do full body, but it's like if my body's not responding in a way, or if my body's reacting in a way that seems like I might crash into a wall, then I should of course be smart enough, because still, again, longevity as in like joint pain, shoulder health, stuff like that, that's stuff that has to be considered. And I have to find either a much smarter way to do full body, or just try and stick with kind of like a split program. And I shouldn't abandon like usual just regular training splits. I should possibly try and find ways to make it more fun and enjoyable for me. I think that's just one thing I have to figure out as well. Again, just getting used to my own body and just knowing my own body a lot more. If I've given you some type of vague program or something to follow, like, I'm not saying abandon it, but if at some point you're not really feeling it, then drop it and try something else. Get more experience, watch more videos, get more gain more research on exercise science, and like how to make your own program and whatnot. And if once you can start making your own program and everything like that, and even track things, that's when it's going to become like so much better. That's when you're going to get a lot more excited to train, because it's like your own thing. You're fulfilling your own prophecy or something like that. And it's just much easier to stick to whatever training program you make, because you made it. It's not something that somebody made for you. It's not some general plan somebody set everybody out to do. It's your own personalized thing for your own needs and stuff like that, right? We shouldn't be able to prescribe someone a plan, like our own training plan, to everybody else, right? Like, my training plan is not gonna follow your training plan. Your training plan is not gonna follow my training plan. We're not gonna do the same things. We might like to do the same exercises, but we might not like to train those exercises in the same exact way. So that's one thing to really mention, and to really take note of, because again, I think it's very important just to kind of have your own reliability, just reliability in yourself, to know that, okay, I can do this thing on my own, right? Because imagine like you lost whatever resources you had to be able to have access to whatever training plan, and boom, now it's gone. Like, what are you gonna do now, right? Your whole exercise journey was based off of whatever plan you had access to on the internet. And if you gain the ability to make your own plan based off of, like, your time, your availability to train, what exercises you like, your own personal goals when working out, that's like the best thing to do. And for me at first, like, my whole thing was like just building muscle. I'll even put a picture up. Like, I used to be like super bulky. I'll put like a before and after. And I was just eating a lot, and like I was following like a like almost kind of like a Arnold Schwarzenegger program. I was doing like upper, I think it was like upper arms lower or something like that, 6 times a week. And it's like at some point it just got boring. It just got so boring because it felt like I was just going through the motions, and I felt like I wasn't really putting any passion into my training, and neither did I feel like it was like my own training, because it wasn't. I was following like almost the same training program as like somebody else. And the only thing that personalized it was the fact that I was doing most of those movements with like body weight movements. Um, but again, at the same time, it's like it's just a lot more fun when I can go out and just like not know what I'm gonna do exactly, and then just do things my own way and figure it out. It allows for a lot more creativity, allows for a lot more freedom. That's one thing too. It allows for a lot more freedom. Even if it is something I wrote down, just being able to say, whatever, and then do something else without feeling bad about it, like, that's a good feeling. Now, I know it's like, that's not the most ideal way to train, but again, like I said earlier, for me, that is how I'm able to stay consistent to training, right? It doesn't matter if you have the perfect plan in the world. If you're not consistent, you're not going to see any results. And someone who like just goes out and does like whatever, but like, they at least make sure they do like the major compound exercises, they're going to get more jacked than you a lot sooner than you, who's like, okay, I'm just going to go through the motions, whatever. So again, like, find a way of training that is passionate for you, even if that's not with building muscle, like with getting jacked. Even if it's like you just love to do like running or sprinting or something like that, then go ahead. Even if you're not going to be the most like jacked person in the world, just, you're going to be consistent at it, and that's going to make you healthier than like 90% of the human population, because you found what you love, you found what you're passionate about with training, and that's what allows you to keep going, to be a lot more consistent. And that's kind of like the same method that I follow. I do calisthenics. I love calisthenics, and calisthenics just kind of happens to get me jacked as a result. So again, follow your heart.